Hey everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the AI animation tutorial for Escape from Planet Omega 12. So we are going to start with, where did we leave off last time? Well, okay, actually, before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Sci-Exploitation YouTube channel, where we will be posting all things Escape from Planet Omega 12, from tutorials and storyboards, behind-the-scenes looks, and clips. But if you want exclusive content that you won't find publicly, you can subscribe and support us, or you can just sign up for the Substack for free. But there will be exclusive content for our supporters. 2025 is here in a few days, and we want to really rev up production, and you can help us do that. Also, I will be posting videos to the Christopher Moonlight Production YouTube channel after the fact, but they'll come here last. But as you can see, I've got a lot more subscribers there, but we really want to ramp up this channel here. So last time we were talking about Viggle, how we were using Viggle to create animations. Now we're going to go over to Nim.Video, and I'm going to be struggling with my cat jumping in my lap while I'm trying to do this. But you can see we've already tried to kind of ramp up our videos with different techniques from Nim. Nim is a wonderful site. It is very affordable. It gives you unlimited generations, but it also has a few limitations that we will also fix. Now you can see here, like I said, is trying to enhance the Viggle output with Nim, but there's a problem here. Now this problem is actually because of the input that I am giving it, rather than Nim's fault entirely. So Nim, let's see. First of all, we've got describe. This is a great feature from Nim. And I'm just going to drop in my video and see if Nim will describe it. Let's see, which one was I using? This one here that says demo, because we're doing a demo. So I just drop it in and we give Nim a few moments. You notice our Viggle video has a solid green background, and this is actually what Nim is struggling with, and all AI will struggle with. If you give it something that is just flat any color, it's trying to find things that it can reference and enhance in there. Anyway, so it gave us a description: a woman dressed in a minimal outfit crouches low, then suddenly leaps forward, her arms outstretched as if they are ready to spring into action. Her long hair flows behind her, adding a sense of movement. The vivid green backdrop emphasizes her dramatic posture, contrasting with her pale skin. The scene captures an intense moment of pause before an explosion of energy. Interesting description. I don't know if it's exactly what we want to use, but let's sit tight on this for a few minutes. We've got text to video, where you can actually use Hanyeon. I think let's say that's what it is, or Mochi. Hanyeon gives you 50 generations. Mochi is unlimited. I've been using this to get generations of Tara for other purposes, which I won't talk about here. That's another technique. And we also have the image to video, which you can drop in an image. Obviously, I don't have any standing by to drop in, but yeah, we could drop in an image and give a description. Which, let's see, I'll just give a brief one. Woman standing in front of a green background while her hair blows in the wind. And there's an enhanced prompt, and you can also do consistency, where you can get like really far afield from your image back. You can also enter in your seed or randomize it. We'll just randomize it. automatically enhance prompt. I turn this off a lot actually, but let's leave it on and we can see what happens. But meanwhile, we want to hop over into After Effects because we've got our video in here. And like I said, this solid green background is just not something that that most AI like. So what I'm going to do is I've actually got a uneven green screen that I keep a file of. And let's see, we're just going to drop it behind there. And it's a bit small, so let's scale it up. Doesn't matter. We are going to still key it out. But then let's just go into Effects and Keying, Key Lights. It's a very solid green, so it shouldn't be much of a problem keying it out. I don't know if you heard that. That's my cat knocking things over. So, okay. So now we've got a bit more of a uneven but more realistic looking green screen. So it doesn't have to be... cat is batting around my stuff. All right, doesn't have to be great. It's good enough. So let's export this. It's a render queue. Let's make sure we're going to the right place. We've got character shots, and shots. Then climbing out. That's what we're doing. We got our climbing out. So let's export it to there. Demo. Just make sure we know what the file is. Green screen swap. I usually name better than this, but whatever. And then we'll just render that out as an H.264. Big deal. So let's head back to here. And then, let's see, I'm in the wrong folder. And while that's rendering at 75%, we'll go back over to describe, grab this. Oops. Oh, there's a copy button. I always forget about that. And then to restyle video. So we've got that. Let's drag in our video here. Leaps forward, arms outstretched, is ready to spring into action. That's fine. Her long hair flows behind her. That's fine. Adding a sense of movement. You grab and emphasize her posture. Let's see. I'm just going to add with a red smudge on her arm because she does have blood on her arm in this scene. So there's different styles that you can style into, and they can definitely get you all sorts of interesting results. I'm going to start with, let's see, I'm going to start with minimalist, because sometimes when you drag in your own video, it gives you different options. There is a realistic option, and there is a cartoon option, which I like both of, but for some reason, when you drop in your own video, they don't show up here. So let's just go with minimalist, and I'll tell you why. Because we can then take the minimalist and bring it back into the more realistic style, which it'll reference. But let's just go ahead. I guess the seed is fine. Restyle and improve. There's also versions 2, restyle and replace. I don't know the difference, so I'm just going to stay with version 1. We can experiment more. Oop. I got a barking dog, because how dare people walk past our house on a nice day. I'm just going to stay with restyle and improve. And let's hit generate, and it's gonna put it into the queue. Meanwhile, let's see what Nim did with our video. Looks pretty good for the first part, but then kind of turns to mush, which a lot of AIs are going to do. So you really need to think in terms of these clips. Either you do a bunch of generations and they work out, or you do a generation that has some frames that are usable and some frames that aren't. So you just edit around the ones that aren't. Anyway, meanwhile, while we're waiting on that, we're going to do something else, which I promised from the last video. So I'm going to go ahead and just, let's see, don't save. I don't need that. I'm going to close out of here because I've got a limited video card and I don't want to run a bunch of stuff along with my OBS and crash my computer. One of the goals for 2025 is to get either a 4090 video card or wait for the 5000 series of NVIDIA graphics cards to come out. I don't know if you hear all that scratching, but my cat is going crazy while I'm doing this tutorial. So, yes, you are going crazy. So I don't know if my editing software will clip that out or not, but you can hear that. Anyway, so let's go to the next thing, which is we have back here, we've got this shot, which I generated with Nim using one of my images that I created of Tara using Stable Diffusion and Photoshop. I go back in and I repaint a lot of stuff, and I did different backgrounds, changed out the backgrounds, that sort of thing, and then I animated it. But this one's from the old version of Nim, but I really like it. It's the 8 frames per second. Now, your frame rates are always going to vary, but we're going to do a couple of things to make this more the character. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to get the frame rate up to par. We did this before, so let's do it again. We're going to open up FlowFrames, which is from the first tutorial. And we're going to find video, and yes. So it is detected that is 8 frames per second times 2 is 16 frames, but we want 24, so we're going to go times 3. Interpolate. Let's check on our video. It's still in the queue. Sometimes it takes a while, but it's worth it. Estimated time, 7 minutes. So let's do this while we're waiting on that. Maybe the time will speed up. So it's almost done. Let's go back to our folder. And there it is. So let's check the difference. We can definitely see a difference between this version and the 8 frames per second. So perfect.
Yep.
All right, so next up, I want to change the face. And so Roop has opened up in my browser, and I'm not going to go into how to install this. There are other tutorials online on how to do that. I'm simply showing you the process. So we're going to go in and we're going to drag in our 24 frames per second. And then we're also going to, okay, so we have a face for Tara. And we have the video in there, and we're going to use this drop down or drop up to select G Pen and crank this up to 80. This is original enhance image blend ratio, only used with active post processing. So yeah, just crank this up to 0.8 G Pen. We got the face we want. We've got the video we want. And here, if there are multiple faces, you can, say all input faces, all female, all male, all faces, selected face. First found is fine because we've only got one image. We click Start. You can also click this Open Output Folder. Right in here, it's processing. And you can see our progress here. We're at 11%. And let's check in our progress on Nim. Hey, we're out of the queue and we're processing. We're at 3%. Okay, so now we have our video output, and you can see the faces replaced. We got smooth motion. So now that we've got that, we have our output folder. where the video is, and then we can copy that into whatever folder we want. So let's open After Effects again, because now we're going to upscale this because the quality is still not great. Now, Nim is getting much better with their upscaling from when I initially started with them. So this isn't always going to be necessary for all of your assets if you are refining through Nim. And let's hope that this does a good job with the first output. We're going to rerun that output, but we'll get to that. So yes, we've got missing stuff. I guess I forgot to fix that. All right, so let's go and put this into After Effects. And we've got, let's make sure what our composition settings are. So we've got 480 by 480, 24 frames per second. That's fine. And we're going to export this, and we're going to change to PNG sequences. And I will demonstrate why in just a few moments. And we're going to go into, let's see, this is shots, where we're going to save this to. Okay, so we're going to save a PNG sequence, and we'll just simplify this to Terra with belt, because we don't want a overly complicated name for our PNG sequence. We're going to render this out. Okay, so now that we've got that rendered out, we're going to open up this other free to download, I believe it's open source, Upscale, Upscayl, and we're going to do a batch upscale, and we're going to select our folder, and here's our folder. So we'll just hit select all, and then we're just going to upscale. We want to upscale times 2 or times 3. Let's do times 3. There are different options for different kinds. General photo. There are these different digital art. She might qualify as digital art. I'm just going to leave it at this for now. And then we're going to upscale. And since this is a batch upscale, this is going to, oops, which folder are we at? That's Roop. So this is the folder, and it's going to create a new folder. So we've got all our frames in this folder here. We can just click through them. But in the upscale here, you can see it's upscaling all of these. Oops. So we've got good quality. You know, it's a free upscaler, and we're doing animation, so you know, you may want to use something better, but same thing, we get all the frames. And let's see, this is going to take a few minutes. Let's check back on our progress here. 77%. So Upscale has notified us that it is done. So we're going to go back into After Effects, and we're going to import file, and let's just be efficient and copy the address from the folder. Paste it up here. And just select the first image, and then make sure this is checked here, PNG Sequence, and it'll import all of that into a sequence that we can just drag and drop in here. Now, it's upscaled. Oh, that's my phone notification. Now, is she moving correctly? Let's just go into composition and make sure that the frame rate is correct. So, composition settings. Yeah, it's playing her at 30 frames per second. We want 24. which is going to change the length just a little bit. So we'll just trim the comp to the work area. And there we go. We have an upscaled image that 24 frames a second that flows very nicely with the character's face on there that we can then key out the green screen and do with what we want. So that is a roundabout way if you're working on a very limited budget and you don't have various upscalers like Topaz to fix the frames. So let's go back to Nim and see how we're looking there. We're at 99%, should be finished generating anytime soon. Just some examples, though, of the different methods. Like this is, they actually call this arcane art or gaming art. The restyle was 3D graphic on here. Made her a bit too muscular, and it did give her actual graphics. Again, this might be due to the fact that I gave it a completely solid green background. Here, I accidentally used the prompt. I put it in the style of cartoon, and I used the prompt for the character Blob that I had, not Tara. And so it turned it, you can see, you can actually restyle your characters into something completely different. I actually might experiment with this shot and see what doing frame fixes and upscale with this gives me. But yeah, we'll see. That's a very interesting result. I learned something from this. I might use this. And then let's see. Here's the cartoon style. And again, it just because it didn't know what to do with the background, it gave me a lot of randomness, which also affected the character herself. Here we are. Okay, so this is probably not usable. But let's try restyling it anyway, because I've gotten better results with the restyle before, and maybe the style minimalist wasn't the best. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go with, well, let's see what realistic does with it. Let's hit generate. And then I'm also going to click this out, and we're going to use the original shot again. So upload that, and it's set to realistic. I think I'm kind of tricking it by swapping out the output there. So let's use realistic on this one. And then let's also use, because we have unlimited generations, let's use cartoon and see these different generations. It's moving a lot faster this time. Okay, well, it's not giving me the best examples right now, and it might be that I have to play with the seed. There are, the other ones turned out maybe a little bit R-rated, so can't show those on YouTube. But I will show you this. You know, these tutorials, they don't always come together the way that you expect, but in previous iterations, I did get this. Which I posted on my Instagram, TikTok, and X accounts. And also Facebook, I believe, the Sci-Exploitation Facebook. So you can see that that is based on this reference, which is Isla, our performance actress for Tara in Escape from Planet Omega 12. She did a very good job. She acted out the entire movie in our little green screen set. And here's another example. So yes, Nim can be used with the proper seeds and generations to improve your quality. Is it going to be the right tool for everything? No, but I am finding that Nim is the right tool for about 60% of everything that I'm doing right now, with some upscaling and frame fixing and other methods. I will be back talking more next time about how I am creating creatures, alien creatures for Omega 12, and a lot of other stuff, which I'm not going to say just yet because I don't know myself which direction I'm going to take these tutorials. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I know this isn't so much tutorials on how to set up and use AI in the more technical way, but how we're being creative with it. So again, thanks for watching. Check out the Christopher Moonlight production Substack, and you'll find a lot more fun stuff there. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. All right. Happy New Year.